I'm Jill Butler. I'm from Miami, Florida, and I'm 26 years old.
She seemed to always have an interest in running. And I was thinking back the first time that we kind of recognized that. We had just moved to Arkansas and they had a old little running track that wasn't even that long. It's covered with grass and could hardly see it was there, but we were just looking for something to do, and we were just walking around the school that day, and I said, hey, why don't you girls go out there and just run. Here's Johanna, just going around and around like it was nothing. And I thought, wow, we might have a runner in our family.
One of my favorite things about running is just time for me to relax and just get away from all of the things that may stress me out or make me anxious or anything like that, and just help me think more clearly. But it's also a time that I can get creative and dream and talk with God. I really love that because it's one of the few times I really do feel like I have a clear mind. I think a lot, so it's really easy for my mind to stay busy. And so I love when I get to go outside and just start moving my feet, breathing in the fresh air, and letting my mind kind of wander and have some fun without getting stressed about what I have to do. In high school, I wasn't that great of a runner. I was always like our 5th or 6th girl. We were really competitive, but when I got to college, I got a little more serious, and I started having some success, which was fun. So I was winning almost every race, which was really fun and exciting. My times at that point still weren't phenomenal, but I was competing at that level and I had a blast doing it. It was fun to have a season of life where I really started seeing success and realizing like, oh, I can actually be good at this if I set my mind to it. My freshman and sophomore year of college were really hard for me, and I really started feeling distance from friends and family, and I started isolating myself and struggling with depression. And in those years, I really started questioning what it was to have faith and what a relationship with Jesus looked like. Depression is one of those things that it grabs a hold of you and you cannot escape it. Like, no matter how much willpower you have, it's this innate sense of, I have no purpose here on this earth. Like, I have no meaning to life. I feel hopeless. I feel worthless. I just feel nothing. I've been searching for a trail to My senior year of high school is when food started becoming a struggle for me. I started seeing other girls on my team who were really thin, and I wasn't as thin as them, and so I was like, oh, I should change this. But it became obsessive, and by the time I entered into my freshman year of college, I really started struggling with anorexia and bulimia, and just driving myself into the ground physically. When I got into college, on top of that, depression started sinking in, which I think was the root of a lot of the eating disorders. But then also insomnia started creeping in, so I wasn't sleeping. I was really unhealthy at that point. I just started isolating myself from everyone and like losing connection with people. And my husband and I were engaged at that point and doing distance, and so we were really struggling with that. And then we got married and we're like, oh great, things are gonna be awesome now. It's not always the case. We moved to Miami, and my depression just soared, and I just really lost control. I was having 6 to 8 panic attacks a day, and my husband just felt helpless, and it just strained our marriage. There was one day I had started this new job. I'd only been there like 3 weeks, and I was just really having a hard time going into work. It would just strike up anxiety. I think a lot of that was from failure. I felt incapable of doing anything, and I took, I think, 11 Ambien pills with me, stuffed them in my pocket, and I got to work and I was like, I don't know, I can't go in, I can't go in. I started having a panic attack, and then I drove down to this little garage, popped those pills in my mouth, and overdosed. So I guess I gotta stay. For me, I just wanted to escape from my brain. Like, I couldn't control my thoughts, and I just felt so helpless. And I didn't get it. Like, that was the thing that was hardest for me. I thought it was something I just had to switch on or off. Like, I thought I could control it, and I was so irritated that I couldn't. just in that moment, I'm just like, I need help. Like, I cannot do this anymore. Like, this is not how anyone is supposed to live. And like, I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't know why I'm thinking this way. Like, but I am, and I can't control it. And so that was like the pivotal moment of our lives to be like, things have to change. It was so beautiful in that process. The story of just redemption is day by day. I started figuring out where these feelings come from. Why am I having them? But it took a team of people, and it took people around me supporting me, saying, Joe, fight this. And it also took me saying, hey, I need help and I can't do this alone. We don't have to live that way, and I don't want people to have to live that way. It was so amazing to walk through that and see us changed and transformed. And that has been such a big motivator of why I'm doing what I'm doing today.
I think that her ability to share that story and her honesty with people can change someone's life. When she shared for the first time with a whole bunch of strangers, literally on the internet, about her struggles, that's when I turned the corner and said, I want to be closer to that person. Because today's society is all about how great you look and how you're presenting to the world your best day. No one's perfect. Today people just project their perfect selves, and they are hoping that someone will stand up and voice their struggles because they want to feel good, because they're like, oh my gosh, somebody else feels the same way that I do. Somebody else is going through the same thing that I'm going through. And Joe's ability to share that, that's just leadership to its core.
The easiest thing to do is to want to keep it to yourself. And you think there's something wrong with you. I don't remember how many times I said that. I've seen food control my life a lot. I've seen depression and anxiety control my life a lot. And so I've just seen how like God uses our health to give us freedom. My passion is really to help people find freedom in that, and to find this balance and harmony that God intends for us. From a girl who struggled with eating disorders, I've experienced a lot of freedom to just live a well-balanced life and not obsess over what I'm eating or what I'm doing, or being a perfectionist in everything I do. That perfectionism is what caused so much anxiety and then depression and then eating disorders. And when the fact is, it's like, no, you don't have to be perfect. Like, you're still loved, you're still worthy of love, whether you are perfect or not. And there's so much freedom to live when you're not trapped by all those feelings of perfectionism. There's grace, and that's enough. Like, God is enough. And when you live that way, it's so invigorating, and you feel like the world is at your fingertips. So right now, I'm working towards qualifying for the Olympic trials and then hopefully qualifying for the Olympics for 2020. Signed on with a professional coach, which I'm really excited for. She's a professional marathon runner, and in August the plan is to head out to Boulder for 3 to 4 months and train at altitude. It's a day-by-day process. This doesn't happen overnight. Like, qualifying for the trials is really hard. But we're taking a lot of strategy. I have friends jumping on board, helping me raise support, and like also helping me share my story, which I'm really excited to do. Like, that's my passion. The running's great. That's a side plus for me, but being able to inspire women and just help people along the way is really what I want to do. It feels surreal to be at a point where I am pursuing something to really be one of the best, to be able to do something that is such a just reminder of God's grace and redemption. I think for me, that's why I just can't not do it. You know, like, how cool is that to see a girl that her life could be destroyed and is now pursuing a dream like no one imagines, you know? And so it's really exciting and humbling all at the same time. People are not just uniting around Joe Butler right now. People are uniting around, like, here is God's grace and redemption. Like, let's share this.